There we go.
Professor, I am a stay-at-home mom, so I may just be in and out sometimes dealing with my kids.
Yeah, absolutely. Not a problem. So that's one of the things that I wanted to start with before we really jump into the meat of this course. So the first thing is that according to y'all's schedule, we're meeting at 9:15 until 10:05. Is that correct? Right. If you think about it, that's a really short meeting time. It's really 50 minutes. So what I'm asking you guys is that when we do log in for Zoom, if you can be 5 minutes early. Um, that is preferable. If you can't make that, it's totally fine. I just want to make sure that we uh, don't. Well, in the past, when I've taught remote courses, I usually wait 5 minutes to see if everybody logs in. But since we have such a short class period, I can't afford to do that with the 50 minutes that we have. Okay. So if you have to pop in late, that's perfectly fine. I'll admit you to the Zoom session, and you just use the link like normal that you guys were all able to find on Canvas. But try to be 5 minutes early because technology has this way of crashing when you need it the most. So we want to avoid those kinds of problems. Okay. How many of you guys have taken a remote course? Okay, I'm seeing. Okay, good. If you haven't taken a remote course, um, it's a little bit weird being taking a class through Zoom because you just see me as a face in the screen, right? Um, the other thing is that a lot of your homework is going to be done through an online platform. And so I think that we can be really flexible for two reasons. One, the homework platform that I'm going to get you guys set up on today is really easy to use. I think you will have to go in there and play around with it a bit, but your assignment should be laid out in Canvas, and I'll have that broken down here in a moment so that it's easy to follow the sequence of topics that we're going to cover. The due dates for assignments should be easy to follow as well. Uh, um, and so if for whatever reason you get lost and aren't understanding like where to find something, don't ever hesitate to message me in Canvas. Okay. Um, but because this is remote, we can be really flexible. I'm thinking that uh, we will do what's called a flipped classroom. Does anybody have any idea what a flipped classroom is? Okay. So with a traditional classroom, students come to the lecture and basically you get to hear a boring person talk for the 50 minutes that you have them, right? A lot of times, that is not the best way to learn. Students learn by doing their homework on their own and then asking questions when they get into trouble or find something that they find confusing. Okay. It's those points where you're confused and then you get the clarification that's going to help you learn the material best, not necessarily listening to me read out of a PowerPoint or read out of a workbook or something that you could read on your own. Okay. So that's kind of what my intention is here at the beginning of the semester is to kind of get Canvas set up in such a way that we can flip the classroom to where we will use our meeting times in Zoom just as check-ins to see how you are doing in the homework platform, how you are progressing as you are learning the content on your own. So in that sense, you can think of me more as a facilitator than the instructor. Okay. Um, I will be facilitating you getting through the process, learning the material, providing you guys with the resources that you need, things like videos that will help you with your homework. But I think that like I've taught this course in the past remotely as well, and it is extremely boring if you just have to listen to me talk for an hour. Okay. So we'll figure that out as we go. But without further ado, what I'm going to go ahead and do is share my screen with you so that I can show you what the course structure looks like, what you should be seeing when you pop into Canvas, and sort of what to expect. Okay. Does anybody have any questions for me before I begin? Okay. Sounds good. All right. Can you guys see my Canvas screen? Awesome. And feel free to unmute yourself and interact and respond to my questions if that is how you are so moved. Again, if you are timid or anxious to like speak in class, that's perfectly fine too. You can keep yourself muted and just like nod your head enthusiastically if you need to, okay? All right, so this is Math 1342, which is officially called Elementary Statistical Methods. Okay, but we're just going to call that statistics for short. Okay. As I said, you guys should be meeting here in this Zoom session at 9:15. The course goes until 10:05. So we have a tight 50 minutes in which we have to get in, do what we need to do, and then get gone. Okay. My name is Miguel Aguilar. I've been teaching here at St. Philip's for about 6 years now. I've been here since 2017. And I don't have a traditional background in that I'm teaching a math course, but my degrees are not in mathematics. Okay, when I went through college, I got my bachelor's degree in biology, and then I took some time, worked in a clinical diagnostics lab, did some tutoring and some teaching on the side. I went back to school, took some more classes and a bunch of different topics, ultimately came back, got my master's degree in biology, which focused in ecology, evolution, and conservation. And so that might confuse a lot of students and a lot of my colleagues also as to why I'm teaching mathematics here at St. Philip. Okay. Well, it just so happens that regardless of what your major is, again, mine was biology. Lots of fields of study, if you decide to go for your bachelor's degree or your master's or graduate degree, require you to have some understanding of mathematics. Okay. That might be intimidating to a lot of you, especially if you've had a hard time with math in your K through 12 education. Or if you just had maybe some bad experiences with some teachers as you took a math class in the past, whether it was college algebra or whether it was your high school math. Okay. Now, I like to think that I have an unconventional educational background that puts me in a position to help you guys understand what we're supposed to be doing here. Specifically in this stats course, what you need to think about is this stats course is kind of like a cookbook. You do need to have some basic arithmetic skills, be able to use a calculator to solve problems. Okay. But it's just the case that when we teach statistics, usually an intro to statistics course, I think of it like a cookbook. We run into certain problems, and then we need to figure out, based on the characteristics of that problem, what statistical procedure do we need to go through? Okay. And we're going to talk more about that as we get into the semester. I don't want to bog you down too much here. But again, I'm here to help facilitate this course and to help you pass this class. Every single one of you should be able to pass this class. I just taught this class in a face-to-face classroom last semester, and I think I had 9 students in the class. Again, it was a very small, intimate course, and every one of those students was able to pass. Okay. So if for whatever reason you ever need to contact me, my contact information is on the homepage of Canvas. My student hours or my office hours are listed here Monday through Thursday in the morning before class. Okay, you can message me if you need to meet with me outside of that time. You can meet with me in Zoom or you can meet with me in person because I am often on campus. That is the main campus on Martin Luther King. Okay, I'm also available in person in our math tutoring center called Math World on Tuesdays and Thursdays in the afternoon. So if you find yourself on campus and you need to get some assistance with your homework in person, I will be in the math lab assisting all the students that are there. Okay. The Zoom link that is here on the front page of Canvas is not our classroom Zoom page. This is specifically for my office hours. Okay. So if you need to set up an appointment with me for office hours to talk one-on-one, you will use this Zoom link and not the other one that's featured in the module. I assume that you guys were able to find it either in the announcement or in the modules, which is why you guys are here now. Okay. So we want to start off here and just mention that there's a little caution box on the front page. And this is just set here at the beginning of the semester to say that we need to follow the order of topics that are in the modules and the assignment. okay? Assignments are going to remain open after their due dates have passed. And I will say this again, there are no late penalties for late homework, okay? I am not in the business of penalizing you or punishing you for getting busy with life outside of this class. I just want to make sure that if you are falling behind on an assignment or two, that you get caught up as soon as possible, right? If you fall behind, it is hard to catch up. So I need you to work with me, communicate with me, and let me know what's going on. You don't have to tell me all the details, but let me know what's going on so that we can get you on track, or at least come up with a plan to get you on track. Does that make sense? Okay. I'm going to walk you guys through the orientation module today. You may have to complete it on your own time, but make sure that you complete all of the items from that orientation module, preferably by the end of the day, but final due date on that is going to be Friday, because I want to make sure that you guys are all on board and that I don't have to drop you for not participating or not completing that orientation module. Does that make sense? Okay. So I'm going to catch my breath, drink some water here strategically, and then we'll jump into that orientation module. Okay. So when you log into Canvas and you click on our statistics course, you're brought to the home page. It has this spiel about the class down here below, and the recent announcements that I posted are going to be listed here at the top. The three most recent announcements will be posted here, but for now we only have one announcement. Then over here on the left-hand side, I'm going to highlight that. You can see these links, and this is called the left-hand navigation panel. Okay, so we'll go to the navigation panel and just click on modules, and we'll sort of look at the structure. I'm going to click on student view, so this is more like what you guys are seeing on your end. Okay. So like I said, I placed the Zoom link for you guys in two locations. So one in that initial announcement that I sent out, I put the Zoom link for our classroom, but I went ahead and added that link here at the top at this first module that just says class links. So if you need to access our Zoom session, you'll just click on this link and it'll open up a new tab so that you can jump into the Zoom session. Okay. I also put a link for the homework platform, which is called Alex. We're going to talk about that as we move through the orientation module. You can follow along, or you can just watch as I go through this. But I'm just going to take us through this short orientation. Okay. So basically, you guys are in this stats class because you are entering usually a pre-professional field. Most students that take this class are nursing majors or in some allied health profession major, okay? But this class is really not like any other math class you've ever taken. We're going to do a lot more stuff with the calculator, and it's going to be a lot more hands-on. And it's going to be a lot more like a cookbook. Again, like I said before, we're going to run into certain problems, and then depending on the characteristics of those problems, we're going to address them using whatever statistical procedures that we're going to learn this semester. Okay. But statistics is fundamentally about studying patterns in the real world. And a lot of you guys might be familiar that there, in this day and age, a ton of data out there, right? Whether it's the social media platforms that are collecting data on user behavior, or whether it is advertisers on different websites on the internet that are looking at, again, user behavior to determine which products they should sell, which ones they should push to whom based on their interests, right? So we just live in a world that's basically flooded with data, and we need to know how to process that. Okay, so this class is going to take us through three distinct phases. The first thing we're going to do is try to understand statistics through data manipulation and visualization. That's going to require a lot of vocabulary at the start, okay? But don't fret. Just make sure that you're trying your best to learn that vocabulary, because if you don't understand what the words I'm saying mean, it means that it's going to be easier for you to get lost, okay? Once we get through that phase, the initial introduction to what statistics is, then we're going to start doing some mathematics by understanding games of chance and probability. Probability is a really big field of mathematics that is the foundation for all statistics. We're not going to get that deep into it, but we are going to learn some rules and work on some problems that you're going to work out by hand and in the calculator. And hopefully that will help us bridge an understanding to statistics. Then we're going to talk more about the scientific method and hypothesis testing. Those words might not mean anything to you right now. That's perfectly fine. We just started this class. Okay. But essentially, we're going to have to be able to be confronted with a problem and then figure out how can we go about organizing our data to answer questions and draw conclusions. Okay, some of that will use handwritten computation, but for the most part, we're going to be leveraging our technology, especially our calculators, to do more complicated analyses later on. Okay. So, like I said, you'll use this left-hand navigation panel to sort of orient yourself to the course. There's the home page, the announcements, if you need to read those or recap those. Then we have the modules. The modules is primarily what you're going to be working out of. So be very careful. A lot of students just log into Canvas and then they have their to-do list, right, with their due date set up. Make sure that just so that you're not confused, just so you don't lose track of the due dates, that you click on our statistics course and then reference the modules, because all of your homework assignments will be listed from bottom to the top, from top to bottom. So going down in sequential order with those due dates in mind, okay? There's a statistics workbook that's available to you guys that is here. I pretty much summarized the meat, the most important things in the workbook in the lecture videos that I'm going to provide to you. So you don't necessarily have to read the workbook, but it does have good content, good vocabulary words, and some example problems that you can work through if you want supplemental problems to work. Okay. Again, that is not a requirement. I do not grade your workbook progress, right? That is not how this course is graded, but it is there if you should need it. Okay, if you happen to make yourself available on campus, I can give you a physical copy of that workbook, but the PDF is available here in this one. Okay. I have not added, no, I did add this Math World link here, and that is the St. Philip's College Math World tutoring facility that we have here on campus. You can use that link to access Math World's information page. Not only that, if you can't make your way to campus to get help in the physical space of the math lab, like if you get stuck on your homework, you are more than welcome to click on that link. I'm going to go ahead and open up a separate tab here. And when you click on that link, it gives you all of the information for Math World, including the tutors that are available and the times that tutors are available. The nice thing is that if you scroll all the way down to the bottom and click on this link for Math World tutoring, at least as long as it's between these hours of operation, there are math tutors available to help you via Zoom. Okay, so you do not have to go to the physical Math World location on campus. You can access them through Zoom anytime from Monday to Thursday. It looks like from 9 a.m. in the morning to 7 p.m. at night. And then we are also open on Friday from 9 to 2 and Saturday from 8 to 2. Okay, so there are weekend times available if you should get stuck on your homework assignment and need some help. Okay. Technical skills that are going to be required for this class. You need to be able to navigate the internet. I assume that you guys are doing that well because you made it here. Okay. You need to have access to a computer and a webcam. You need to be able to download and print documents. Sometimes I put handouts in the modules that you can download. Those are references for your use. If you don't want to download them and you just want to keep them as PDFs, you can download and save the files. That works too. Periodically, you'll need to scan documents and upload those. Particularly after we complete tests in this class, you'll have to upload your handwritten work. Okay, I'll talk more about that as we get closer to a test. Okay, but if you do not have a scanner at home, most people don't nowadays, there are phone apps. I use Cam Scanner, which is a free app that you can use to take pictures with your phone, convert those documents into PDF files, and then you can upload them to Canvas. Okay. It's easiest to do that if you do have the Canvas for Students app on your phone. So that's something that I do recommend. I'll put a note about the Canvas for Students app in Canvas later. Okay. And that's pretty much it. You just need to have some sort of ability to use a computer, some sort of fluency with computer and technology, because we're going to use that. It is a remote course after all. Okay. So you need a desktop or laptop. PCs and MacBooks work best. If you have a Chromebook, that works fine for logging into Zoom and like attending the class sessions. But we use a specific test proctoring software in our homework platform that is not compatible with Chromebook. Okay. So if you do not have a Chromebook, then you need to message me so that we can figure out what we need to do to make sure that you have access to a computer that is not a Chromebook that will help you or allow you to take the test. Okay. Webcam is required, and a TI-84 graphing calculator is going to be needed. If you don't have one, you do not have to buy one. We have a calculator loan program here at St. Philip's where you can get a calculator checked out to you for free for the duration of the semester. Okay. That being said, I'm going to leave that as it is. We're going to hit next because I know I can be pretty long-winded. Does anybody have any questions for me up to this point?
Do we go to the math lab to get the calculator?
That is certainly one way that you can do it, right? If you go to the math lab, Math World is the first floor of the science building. It's very easy to find. They will help you go through the process to get a calculator checked out to you. Gina, are you speaking right now? I think that you're muted or your volume is low. No? Okay, there we go. Okay. The syllabus is a really long document, guys, and I don't want to sit here and read the whole thing out to you, but I'm just going to go over the important parts. It has the meeting times for our class here. This is 1342 statistics. It's called standalone because there's another version of this course called co-requisite, which we don't have to worry about. I have the meeting times wrong here. Let me make sure. This is the wrong course syllabus. Let me go ahead and pull up the correct one. We'll go here. We are section, and I'm just going to go to view. I'll go ahead and replace that course syllabus once class is over, but here we go. There are meeting times. Monday through Thursday, 9:15 to 10:05, and here's another link to the Zoom session if you can't find it, okay? So that will be posted in the syllabus as well. Chromebooks and cell phones do not work for taking tests, so just keep that in mind. If for whatever reason, you don't have to disclose this in front of everybody, but if for whatever reason you happen to have a disability and need help through the disability support services, make sure that you go to and contact disability services on campus so that they can get you the accommodations that you'll need for this class. A lot of times, if you need an extension that is more time on tests because you happen to have testing anxiety, I'm willing to give that even if you don't have an accommodation letter sent to me from the Disability Services Office. But if this happens to be you, make sure that you make contact with them because then they'll send me a letter listing what accommodations you're allowed to have, okay? My contact information is here. My Math World hours and times, office hours as well. This is all listed on the first page of Canvas and on our homepage. The statistics textbook. You do not have to purchase a textbook for this course. I'm going to be basically condensing and summarizing the material from the textbook, which is available to you in the homework platform already for free. I say for free, but you've already paid for it, right? So you do not have to buy a physical textbook. It is available to you in the homework platform as an ebook, okay? In this class, you may need a notebook to take notes. And most classes, you have to take notes, right? In math classes, you want to get usually a 3 to 5 subject notebook because you're going to work a lot of problems and you're going to go through paper. So usually a one subject notebook isn't enough, okay? But that's just a recommendation. If you have to go and pick up another one subject notebook later, that's fine too. It's just easier to keep your notes in one place if you have a 3 subject notebook or a 5 subject notebook, okay? So my recommendation is always a 3 subject notebook. It's better to have more paper than less, okay? We talked about needing the internet, needing a computer. Do you need a printer? This is just sort of automatically posted here. You do not necessarily need to print things unless you want to print things. You can do so in the math lab or at the library. I believe that the library does charge you. And in Math World, we do allow you guys to print things like your student schedules. And if you meet me there, I will print off documents for you. But typically in Math World, we do not allow students to print out anything other than their student schedule so that they can check out a calculator. Okay. So again, there are printing services on campus that are free. If you go to the library, I believe you have to pay some small fee. Okay. Calculator information, we'll talk more about calculators later, but you need a TI-84 calculator for this class, okay? And I'll talk you guys through the St. Philip's not laptop loan program, but our calculator loan program if you should need to check one out, okay? If for whatever reason you need to check out a loaner computer, St. Philip's does have laptops available, okay? And you will just click on this link to get more information, get yourself started on that process, or message me and I can help you through that process, okay? The important stuff that you guys are probably most interested in are things like the breakdown of your grade, okay? So your grade is going to be determined in this class by some key components. First, we're going to use a homework platform called ALEKS to do our homework. There are some quizzes in there and our tests are going to be in there, okay? The homework assignments are going to be worth 15% of the grade. Quizzes in ALEKS are going to be worth 15% as well. The tests in ALEKS make up a whopping 45% of your grade. So just make sure that as we approach those tests, you take them seriously because it's the biggest weight of your grade. And then the final exam is another big chunk, which is 20%. There will be some additional assignments in Canvas and discussion that I occasionally put in there to support your understanding of the content, and that's just worth 5% of the grade, okay? It is required that you turn in your paperwork for each test. If you fail to turn in your paperwork for the tests, then you will receive a grade of 0 for the test until you upload that handwritten work, okay? So I'm pretty lenient on that. It's best to turn that in as soon as you complete the test, but if for whatever reason it slips your mind and you forget and then maybe you go to sleep, the next day, if you need to get that turned in, just submit it as soon as you can. Okay? Special notes. These are things like extra credit or do I curve your grade? And the answer to those questions are no. I have a pretty lenient grading system, so it kind of doesn't require for there to be any extra credit. I like what other instructors say, which is that if you don't do the original credit, why should you expect to get extra credit? But there are some safety nets in place. So at the end of the semester, if you just totally bomb a test, you should know that if you score higher on the final exam than your lowest test grade, the lowest test grade is going to get replaced by that final exam grade. Okay. So you can think about it like 2 ways. One, if you happen to miss a test for some reason and you're just not able to go back and take that test, you would have a 0 in the grade book for that test. And that would not be a big problem because if you just took the final exam and did pretty well on it, that would replace your lowest test grade. It would replace that 0. Okay. You don't want to bank on that though. Okay. You want to try your best on all of the tests and then use that safety net of the final exam as a last resort. Any other extra credit that exists in this course is left to my discretion. I did lie a little bit earlier when I said that I don't give extra credit. I do like to give opportunities for extra credit on the test, but usually it's 5. Sometimes it's 10 points on a test, and that helps you get a nice bump. So it saves you some points in case you make some little mistake. Okay. Due date requirement. Like I said, your homework is due at whatever due date is set in Canvas or in the homework platform, but there are no late penalties. So if you need to, for whatever reason, things come up in life, turn in a homework assignment late, that's perfectly fine. But I will have a final closing date for all the homework assignments just before finals, which is May 5th. Okay, so we have some time. Just make sure that if you fall behind, you message me and we come up with a plan, a strategy to get you back on track. There's no makeup work because that will require me to make more work for you to do more work for me to grade. So that's just more work for me. Okay. So again, no makeup work, just get your homework in, whether it's on time, whether it's late, just make sure that you're staying on track. Okay. Does anybody have any questions about the homework policy, late policy, anything that I've talked about up to this point? Okay. Well, I'm going to give you guys your own opportunity later to read the rest of the syllabus if you should need it, but I'm going to pop back over to Canvas so that we can get this show on the road. Okay. Let's get to the next item. Okay. There's two forms of communication in this class. Okay. The first is usually towards the end of the week, I may post an announcement in Canvas just to remind you on what we covered this week and what is due by the end of the week. Okay, so you can always check the announcements, and usually I will have posted there. But those are really courtesy, right? You should be keeping on track with the due dates that are set in Canvas and in Alex. Stay on top of your homework. My primary form of communication is Canvas inbox. My response time is usually 24 hours. And if you look over here at this inbox link, that's usually how you can message me in Canvas. Okay. So if you happen to find my email address in your student schedule or in the syllabus, I do not answer any of my emails that go to my ACES email. I only respond to students through Canvas. So if you message me through any other platform, I will completely disregard it. It will be deleted. Okay. So only message me through Canvas inbox. Okay. So this is essentially an assignment here that I will, let you guys do after class. You can think of it as homework. And it essentially just asks you to send me a message in Canvas inbox that contains the following items. A greeting, just give me your name, your full name, the one that's used by the school, your preferred name if you have one, the course number and section, you can find that on your student schedule or at the top of the syllabus, and then an enclosure like best regards, and then sign off with your preferred name. Okay, basically you're writing me a little letter that just has those 4 items. And if you send me that message in Canvas inbox, I will check my message and then I will update this grade manually later. Usually it'll take me about 24 hours after receiving your message. And then that will be an easy quiz grade then. Okay. So that is in the module, in the orientation module. There is also a technology check quiz here in the module, which basically just has you answer some questions. I'm going to go ahead and preview this for you guys, just so that we can look at the questions. But the questions are pretty simple. It basically asks you, do you have reliable access to a personal computer? It asks you, do you have a webcam? Do you have a scanner or have the ability to download a scanning app on your cell phone so that you can scan and upload documents? Do you have reliable access to Wi-Fi? And then do you understand that these 4 components are required for this class? So you answer these questions. Again, that's an easy 100 for a quiz grade. I'm just going to go ahead and leave the student view right now and go back to modules really quickly just so we can see where we are. Okay, so under the modules, You'll read through the communicating in this class assignment and send me that message. Do the technology check assignment. What I expect you to do is read and review the syllabus and then take this brief syllabus quiz. And then go back to the modules. And then calculator and loan program. So the required calculator for this class is the TI-84 calculator. Okay. To complete this assignment, you just need to post a message down here that says whether you own your own calculator, and then just make sure that you state that you have your own calculator and which type. It should be a TI-84 or an equivalent. It could be the TI-84 standard calculator. It could be the TI-84 plus calculator like this one, or the CE plus, doesn't matter. But it has to have those graphing utilities. A simple scientific calculator is not going to be powerful enough to complete the assignments that we'll need to towards the end of the semester. Okay. Information for the loan requirements for the calculator loan program here at St. Philip's are listed here. And again, to complete this assignment, just tell me that you have a calculator, or tell me that you plan on checking out a calculator from the department. Okay, and you'll just write a reply down here that says, I have my own calculator, or I will need to check one out. Post that reply, and then you'll be good. I'll be able to update that grade. Okay.
When should we get the calculator by?
Calculator checkout was originally going to start today, but I believe that they're not going to start calculator checkouts until tomorrow. Okay, I'll double check on that and get you that information. But let's see. The first few assignments in the homework are they're not like computation intensive, so they don't really require a powerful calculator. So if you needed to get one later this week or sometime next week, that will be perfectly fine, but the sooner the better. Whatever works for you. Okay. Good question. Okay. But regardless, if you have that calculator, or if you plan on checking one out on that last discussion post, just say that I have a calculator or I plan on checking one. Okay. This first assignment is going to help us get signed up in ALEC, which is a homework platform, and it's very easy to do. Okay, so I'm going to just get out of the student view here, and if you guys will follow along and go to the modules with me. So there are two ways of getting set up in ALEX. The first way, if you follow along with me, is just go to the modules tab here in Canvas, and then click on the homework platform ALEX here. Okay, when we click on that, it says access denied for some reason. You should not have access denied. I'm going to go ahead and leave that.
Mine does say access denied when you click that link.
Let me see. Okay, let's do this a different way. I'm going to go back to the modules. Oh, okay. I need to update that link. Going to go back to our statistics course and go back to student view. So what I want you to do instead of using that link is on the left-hand navigation panel. So if you go back to the home page, click on Alex McGraw-Hill. And this should work. Are you guys getting this welcome to Alex message? Okay. So if you've used Alex before, do not put yes, I have an Alex login name. We're just going to create a new one. So click on no, I have never used Alex before, scroll to the bottom, and then press the continue button. Okay. You should see a registration screen here. Go ahead and type in your first name and your last name. Use the name that is listed on your student schedule, because that's what I have listed on my roster. And then add your email address. So for mine, I'm going to put test student, but for my email address, my institutional St. Philip's email address is magular157@alamo.edu. You guys should have email addresses that say student.alamo.edu at the end. Okay. And then go ahead and yet again type in your email address. But once you have this information, you'll go ahead and click on the agree button and then continue. Okay. You should then have this message that says account paired. Your Alex account has been securely paired with the institution. So now Alex is tied in and linked to Canvas. Okay. So I will be able to provide you guys with links to the homework in the modules, and they will take you directly to your homework assignments after this. Okay. So now we're in Alex. We can go ahead and hit the continue button here and then click on our course, which should say Math 1314, Section 012, Spring 24. And that pretty much has you registered automatically. You've already put your information in. I should see you guys on my rosters in Canvas now, or in Alex now. So now we'll just hit next. And there's a few things that you have to do at first, but we're running out of time. So I just want to give you just the overview of what you need to do. Okay. So the first thing that Alex is going to require you to do is to take this tools tutorial. It's just a few questions here. We could knock them out as a group, and it's just to get you used to typing things into Alex, using the buttons here. So I typed the number 14 here, I hit the X to delete it, and then I did this undo button if you ever need to undo something. So again, just gets you used to the tutorial of the tools here. But then once you get through this tool check, and I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing here in a moment. Let me leave Alex, go back to Canvas. Once you are done with this setup, there are a couple of things. Let's go ahead and stop the share. So the things that you guys need to do by next class are complete that registration in Alex. It's going to have you do an initial knowledge check. Okay. And that basically is a bunch of math problems that are designed to see where you are, where your strengths and weaknesses are. That is not going to be worth a grade in the sense that you're going to be penalized if you don't do well. It just gives me an idea of where your math skills are. Okay, so if you complete that initial knowledge check, I'm just going to use that as a completion grade. Okay, and then I'll be able to look at that and see how we're looking as a class and where I need to go ahead and like do some review. Okay, so we'll complete that initial knowledge check. Then let me see, there was another assignment in the module, in the orientation module, which says set up respondus assignments. Okay, so once you're done with that initial knowledge check in Alex, then what I want you to do is the first assignment should be called assignment number 0, set up respondus. Okay, that's going to walk you through the process of downloading and installing the Alex Lockdown browser on your computer so that you can use that to take tests in the future. There's going to be a tiny little practice test in there just to make sure that you have completely installed the Lockdown browser, but it's not like labor intensive. It's just to make sure that you have downloaded that correctly and installed it. Okay. The details for the test are listed here in Canvas. It says it has a password here, the word ready in all caps. Again, that is listed here in the instructions for that. Okay. And then the last thing I want you to do today is just post something to this discussion board. Okay, please introduce yourself to the class. Here are some suggestions, really requirements for topics this year. I want you to answer these 3 questions. What is your major? Why do you think taking statistics is necessary for your degree plan? How might it help in the future? What is one of the biggest challenges that you had in a previous math course, either in college or in high school? Okay. Feel free to share as much or as little as you'd like, but be careful not to share any personal information like phone numbers or email addresses, physical addresses, or where you work, okay? You just have to be careful with the information that you share on the internet. You may do this outside of class. So make sure that you go here down at the bottom and post your reply. What I would do is just use bullet points or use a numbering system just to say that you're responding to the question, right? Like the first question is, what is your major? My major is biology. Maybe you're a nursing student, something like that, okay? And then number the next one, give your response for that. And then the next number, give your response, okay? So with the 2 minutes that we have left in class, remember, you just want to make sure that you go through all of the items in the orientation module. Okay, that should be the only thing that we're worrying about today. Does anybody have any questions for me? Okay. Well, I'll see you guys at the same time, same place tomorrow, and I will post an announcement to Canvas just to remind you what are the things that you have to knock out, okay? So if you have any questions and want to hang back after class, you're free to do so, but aside from that, you guys are free to go. I'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place. Remember to like and subscribe.